One Wellness Week Live. What's up, everybody? It's DJ Anthony. How you doing, girl? Okay, so today's show, OCD. Now, it's funny. We hear a lot of people out there say, like, oh my God, like, I'm so OCD. Like, I have to have all my stuff in order. I'm so OCD. No, by the way, I'm not a doctor. Don't believe me. Go check with the healthcare professionals. Okay. So I got OCD, actually. That's not a joke. So, and let's talk about it, because you hear a lot of people say what I just said. Oh my God, like, I'm so OCD. It's just like, now listen, I'm not one of those people that gets my panty in a bunch. I don't get upset if someone, jokes around about something that is serious. But I'm like, all right, they don't get it. I got to clear my throat. Hold on a second. I was drinking tea. Here's to you. Salud, green tea. It's too damn hot. Okay. I get so emotional. So, anyways, OCD. So yeah, you hear people say like, "Oh my God, I'm so OCD. Like I have to have all my desk in order, or my closet in order, or I'm so neat. I'm so clean." That's not OCD. Now, yes, OCD can be that, but OCD, the definition of OCD is obsessive-compulsive disorder. Now, that by itself, it doesn't really do justice to what OCD really is, because OCD is really, it's not somebody saying like, oh my God, I'm so, I got to keep things in order. That's not it. An OCD person, the real definition would be someone that says, oh, I have to put things in order. Okay. Now, by the way, OCD is a very large umbrella. It doesn't have to be orderly. It could be anything. It could be, I'm afraid of spiders, or I have to put things in order, or I have to tap on my head 4 times. It could be any kind of obsessive compulsion. So it could be orderly stuff. It could not be. Now, mine, and we're going to get into it, is germophobia. So it was germophobia. So, but so anyways, back to like, oh my God, I'm so OCD. That is not OCD. Now, an OCD person, though, could be someone who's obsessive compulsive about order. And here's how that would play itself out. It would be like this. Oh, I have to put my desk in order, or my closet in order, or my clothing has to hang in the closet, right? Orderly, not just throw it in the closet. Now, here's where the OCD brain comes in. If the person does not get the chance to put the closet in order and has to like really hurry up and go to work, or hurry up and go to that party, or hurry up and go do something else, right? Oh, I got to go to the movies. I don't have time to, put my closet in order. Now, the person with OCD will physiologically become ill, will not be able to enjoy the movie or the night out or going to work. They'll be there. They'll do what they have to do, but they're not there. Like, so, and you won't really be able to tell in someone with OCD that's not like super, super intense or advanced, if you want to call it that, because there's levels, right? You can have someone that might get a little bit like, it's bothering me. I got to do that closet. OCD is a scale, but at its upper end or lower end, where you want to call it, more intense end, somebody with like OCD will not be able to really enjoy going somewhere or doing anything, because their mind is gonna be like, I gotta fix the closet, I gotta put the clothes in order, I gotta put the clothes in order, I gotta put the clothes, and they can go through the motions and probably do their job and whatever, but they're stressed like someone is trying to kill them. That's OCD. So someone saying, oh, I have to put things in order or else I'm so OCD. That's not OCD. OCD is, I have to put the stuff in order. If I don't, I just can't function. I start to, just feel physiologically, you start to get so stressed, your body releases cortisol and you start to break down. Actually, you start to get sick and you're stressed, and you may or may not see that in the person, but inside they're dying because they can't go to fix that orderliness in their closet with the jeans and the shirts and whatever. That's one type. There's thousands of different things you can OCD about, but that's just an example. So that's the difference between someone who has OCD and someone who's like, I'm just OCD. That you're not OCD. OCD is a physiological change in your body where you're stressed the fuck out. You can't focus on anything else or focus well on anything else but that. I got to do that. I gotta, put the stuff in order. I got to put the stuff in order in the closet. And you might be able to even function throughout the day, but you're exhausted because your body just physiologically goes into stress. And you can say, I don't fucking think about it. It's beyond that. So that's what OCD is. So now that's what the real definition of OCD, because to say it's obsessive compulsive disorder, that's the textbook paper definition, but what it really means, what it really feels like, that's what it feels like. Now, there's spectrum to it too, because like for me, my again, an OCD could be anything. You could be OCDing about, like, oh, I'm afraid, I don't know, like these, it could be, man, it could be anything. It could be you OCD about, you know, if you say the wrong thing in front of your friends, maybe they're not going to be friends with you anymore. And so you're always watching what you're saying, and then you check with them. You're like, hey, did I say anything that offended you? And your friend's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that could be OCD too. Anything that you're obsessive about, compulsive about, like, did I offend you? Did I offend you? Like, stuff like that. And OCD at its worst, at its like, yeah, at its worst, can destroy relationships, can make you lose a job, can make you lose friends, because you're acting, like, what the hell's going on with this person? And unless it's not scary. It's something that, again, you're an obsessive person, not about everything, but about certain things. So that's the other kind of odd thing about the OCD. Now, there's no blood test you can take for OCD. It's not something that, I'll go to the doctor, take a test. It's more of a cognitive test you would take, a psychological test. And, the trained therapist would ask you questions. You'll go to the therapist and say, look, I'm OCDing. Like for me, it was germophobia. So I had other OCDs, but my big one was germophobia. So I went to go get help about that because it was really kicking my ass. And for me, I was able to function. I mean, I went through junior college, I went through college, I went through graduate school, I'm successful. I muscled all through that, the germophobia, the fear of germs. I muscled through it, but that's not a life to live. I mean, it was hard. Now, there's certain people that couldn't muscle through it, and, they might lose their job, they might lose their friends, or you might have a very, very light, low stress load with your particular OCD, and you're like, I call it OCD light. It's like, you got a little germophobia, but it's not a big deal. And so there's spectrum. But really, when it becomes quote unquote OCD, it's inhibiting you, it's stopping you, or it's making things hard for you to do. Then you got your OCD. And so for me, it was germophobia. So for instance, like if I have to go to whatever, go out, open the door, that's it. Boom. My mind is like, all day long on germs. I have to go wash my hand. And this is where the compulsion comes. I got to go wash my hand. I got to wash my hand. I got to wash my hand. And if I don't, it's like the stress load of World War III on me. Now, it's not something that I'm trying to think about or do, but it just happens. So I had to go get help for that. Now, we're going to get into what help looks like or whatever. But so that's OCD. So OCD is a large umbrella. It's not exactly any one particular thing, but it's more of the obsession compulsion disorder. So, could it be genetic? From my understanding, there's no fact that it's genetic. However, in my family, my grandfather, on my mother's side, he had OCD. Now, no one even knows this. They don't understand. They don't see. But I've had this conversation with family members. Our grandfather has passed, but and one of my cousins has OCD. Now, I don't think my grandfather knew. Yeah, there's no way my grandfather knew he had OCD. He just thought he was, being like odd washing his hands. He had germophobia. And I also have a cousin who has, or had, I don't talk to her anymore, but has OCD about germophobia too, because she would do things like, vacuum her bed sheets after she washed the bed sheets because there might be germs on there. And there are germs on there, but vacuuming, so like shit like that, you know what I mean? So in my opinion, it is genetic. But what spot on the DNA helix it is, who the hell knows, right? Or what makes you predisposed to that, who knows? Or why, who knows, right? But it happens. So my grandfather was germophobia, and I feel bad for my grandfather because his whole life he did struggle with that. And we used to be like, why is nonno, meaning Italian for grandfather, why is nonno washing his hands so much? And why doesn't he ever touch a doorknob? He always used to open the doors from like the top or the sides, kind of. And we always thought it was weird. We're just like, we knew he was afraid of germs, but we didn't understand. And nobody in my family, even to this day, I talked about it to people in my family. They're like, what's OCD? Like they don't, they're out to lunch. But anyways, but it hit me. It's like, oh, damn, no had that. I have that too. And so it's got to be tough because, back then in the when was he born? 1918. So, in the 1930s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, and he struggled with this. Now, did it stop him from getting a job? And no, he had a rich, fulfilling life, had a family, worked for Ford Motor Company, fought in World War II. Like, he had a life. He had a good life. But, I'm sure he had that struggle. It's like, like, what the hell, So, um, and so the brain is a supercomputer. All of our brains have some glitches or problems or issues. You know why? Because you got a brain. So that's just it. Like, it's a supercomputer. So there's always going to be some kind of glitch with it like that. Anyways, but so we're grateful at it. So it is. I think it's hereditary, and I think it starts. My understanding is these types of mind health issues. Never mind OCD. Any kind of mind health issue, stress, anxiety, bipolar, your whatever it may be, usually starts in the teenage years. So you're 17, 18, 19 is when usually things kick off. And sure enough, that's what happened to me. I didn't always have it, but when I turned to my late teenage years, and you could say there's triggering events, maybe, but it's there. So, yeah, it just kind of started for me then, and my big thing was germophobia and also religiosity, because I was born and raised very, very religious. So I always thought God was out to kill me. God's out to kill me. Oh my God, I miss church. God's gonna kill me. God gonna kill me. God gonna kill me. God, like, if I miss church, forget it. Forget it. I was a head case. Like, nobody would know. I wouldn't go crying on that, but I'd just be like worried. I'm like, am I bad? Am I bad? Is God gonna kill me? Did I do something bad? Now that's not, a normal train of thought. Even though I'm a normal person, that particular thing that I was OCDing about, obsessive about, so it's the chicken and the egg. Was the religion is the problem, or was it that you know, I can be obsessive about certain things, but then again, I'm not obsessive about other things. Like, I don't worry about what people think of me and what I said to my friend. They're like, fuck you. You don't like, I don't give a shit. Now, some OCD people might worry about, did I offend you? Did I offend you? Like, I don't care if I offend. So it's not that if you're OCD about everything under the sun. No, it's your OCD about certain things, maybe one or two things, maybe three things, maybe five things, maybe one thing, whatever. But that the brain gets glitches and shit like that. So there's a way to fix things. So anyways, so yeah, my thing was religiosity and germophobia. Those were my two big things. And it it affected some relationships. It didn't ruin relationships, but it made relationships sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, like, oh man, like, why are you worried about grabbing that doorknob, dude? Like, why are you rushing to the bathroom? Like that, what I mean? It didn't ruin my relationships, but it made my friends and loved ones around me sometimes be like, hey, dude, like, go talk to somebody about that, and eventually I did. And I'm glad I did. So that's the age it starts. What, it's funny because when these types of things have only come to light really now, like mind health. I don't call it mental health, because if you say mental, it's a non-starter. Everyone thinks you're crazy. We all have mental health problems. I don't give a shit who you are. Stop with it. If it's not OCD, again, it's anxiety, it's a stressor, or it's whatever. You got a phobia about something, blah, 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 blah. But it's normal to have it's normal to have a sore throat, and it's normal to have a sore mind once in a while. So anyways, but what I thought was going on when I first started to think, like, oh, like, why am I, like, I touch this doorknob or I shake a hand, why am I stressed out about the germs? I wasn't always like that. Like I said, it started happening about 18, 19 years old. And I thought, I don't know, I guess that's just how I am. I didn't know it was OCD. I didn't know it was an issue. I just thought, like, I'm being, what do you call it? Unreasonable here. I didn't think it was anything that had a name to it, or that I could go for therapy for, or help me. I didn't think that. But as I got older, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, it got worse and worse and worse. Again, didn't stop me from achieving things. I mean, I went to college and grad school, and I have a very successful business, a lot of friends, but it just put a heavy weight on me. It was hard sometimes, not all the time. So I don't want you to think like I was every fucking day dying, although there are people who do have that every fucking day dying with OCD. So I just thought, yeah, and I didn't talk to anybody because I didn't even know what was going on. I just thought, yeah, I'm just, I'm somebody who's I'm a neurotic son of a bitch. Excuse me one second. Salud. And so, I don't know. I just thought, I didn't really bring it up to anybody. I mean, yeah, and so I was, I guess, embarrassed too. Like, what would I say? Like, what, like, I have to wash my hands after I shake someone's hand, because kind of that's really kind of normal too, right? People worry about germs. But the thing is, I couldn't get out of my mind, even if I opened the door to a cafe or something. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, I can't, like, what am I going to say to somebody? Like they're going to think I'm fucking crazy or something like that. So I was more embarrassed really than anything. But I was like at 35, then I said, okay, shit, you know what? Uh, you know, I gotta get help, and there, so yeah, so uh, somebody mentioned it to me that was close to me at that time, and she said, yeah, listen, you should go see somebody. I'm like, you know what, you're right, and it's a hard thing to admit you need help. You know what I mean? And even if like you break your leg or you break your arm or you can't lift something, it's hard to ask for help, especially us men, right? Because we're fucking tough. Hey, yeah, well, yeah, But I saw that it was affecting, the person in my life at the time, and it was affecting me too. Again, not every day, but it was enough to make a notice. So I was like, you know what? Yeah. So this was like 2007, 2008, and again, the internet was still kind of relatively new, But I was like, all right. So I looked up the best OCD doctor in New York City, and I went to that person. Now, by the way, if you think you're struggling with OCD, what I would tell you to do is don't go to a regular therapist. The regular therapists are great, but you need to go to an OCD specialist. Now, they have a great app online for therapists called No OCD, and I highly recommend it. If you think it's expensive, well, you're worth it. Spend the money. You got money for sneakers and vaping and alcohol and bullshit. You got money for this. Or you can go to somebody physically, but you have to go to somebody who specializes in OCD, not a regular therapist, because you need more than just cognitive therapy. You need ERP therapy, exposure response prevention. That's the gold standard. That is the silver bullet. That's more powerful than any pill or medication you could take. I'm not saying I'm against pills and medication, but you have to do that first. And I would do your best to stay away from medication, because you cure one problem, you got 5 new ones. Medication comes at a heavy cost to your body, your liver, your spleen, your brain, your gut biome. Like ERP is really the silver bullet. Now, ERP and even medication is not going to cure everything, but you'll manage it. You'll get it knocked out 99% of the time. That's a win. Even if it's 80% of the time, that's a win. If you have to do with the medication, do it. But I would say first, ERP it. It's going to suck. It's going to be tough, but you must do ERP first and not medication first. Again, every situation is different. But so I learned what ERP therapy was, and so exposure response prevention. And what OCD is OCD is a paper mache, a thin facade of a bully, and wants to bully you. So what do? You stand up to the bully. ERP is exposure. So you're going to step up and step into the bully. You're not going to even step up to the bully. You're going to step into it. You're going to become it. You're going to absorb it. So if I have germophobia, I touch something, I touch this ruler, or I shake a hand, or I touch this microphone, I want to wash my hands because there could be germs on here. There are germs on here, obviously. There's germs everywhere. But what I do is instead of go to the bathroom and wash my hands or hand gel, I rub my face. I put the germs, quote unquote, the germs on me. And then you sit with that, and that's the exposure. And the response is, there is no response. You don't go washing your hands. You don't change your shirt. You don't wipe yourself down, nothing. And you stay with that stress. And what you're doing is you're vaccinating. You're giving your body a vaccine, an inoculation to this. You're training your brain. It's almost like you have 2 brains. You have your regular brain and you have the OCD brain. And the regular brain is telling the OCD brain, it's okay. Look at this. Like a mother tells her child, it's okay, honey. Look. It's just water, or it's just the little spider can't hurt you. Look, it's on my hand. Like that. So you're training that side of the brain to register that. Now it's not going to happen right away. It'll take you whatever, hours or days or a week, whatever. But eventually, you will no longer be afraid of germs at all. 100% cure, or 99% cure, or 80% cure. But my point is, you won't need the medication. You'll be able to function. That's what you need, the ERP, exposure response, and then prevention, meaning it doesn't come back. Now, the key is usually you have to always go through that. So every day, like I make sure, to grab a doorknob in my house or somewhere or whatever, right? And just not wash my hand, and just maybe like pat my face or something like that. Like something, doesn't have to be obvious, like, oh, baby, but I could just be like, whatever. Like, again, like I might pick up my phone or shake my friend's hand and make sure I just like go like that to my face like this, boom. That's the ERP therapy. Now, you may have to go to an office to start that, whatever it is. And you see how long you can do without washing your hands. Maybe you'll last a minute. Okay. Then you wash your hands after the minute. And then you do it again, maybe the next day or the next hour, and you do a minute, 30 seconds, and you build up, right? That quote unquote immunity. So a trained therapist will be able to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you the general gist of it, but ERP is fucking gold, man. Like it really is. It's going to put you under pressure. It's going to put you under more stress, but you'll get through it. It'll work. Trust me on this one. I'm the expert, really. And that is what you need. And it's really like anything else, right? How do you get over a fear, a phobia? You have to face it. Because when you back down from it, if I go to wash my hands, then you're reinforcing to your brain, the germs are bad. The germs are here to get you. Wash your hands. And so now you reinforce that I must do that. So it's like training a dog. You have to train the brain the other way. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to go eat dinner. Of course, wash your hands, right? But if you're not eating dinner and there's no shit, piss, and blood on your hands, you know what I mean? Like, it's just normal stuff. Like I'm opening the door to the cafe, boom. You might be saying to yourself, oh, I got to look at my hand. Don't look at your hand, because then you're reinforcing that it's a danger. It's not a danger. Now, I'm taking my thing, right? But your thing could be, your OCD could be, yeah, like, hey, I have to put all these pencils in order. Well, don't. Leave them. That's going to stress you the fuck out. Whatever it is, right? You're going to let it go for as long as you can, and you're going to build that up till eventually it's always messy, and you're just like, it doesn't even bother me. And that'll take anywhere from maybe an hour to a week, depending on how much ERP therapy you do. So that's that. But initially, like I've been doing this for a while, so I don't need a therapist anymore. But if you you never had therapy before, yeah, I'd say get some guided therapy first about this. And because you don't have to suffer, and you can, I'm not going to say you're going to cure it, but you can 99% beat it down, 95% beat it down. That's a win, and you have to be easy with yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You didn't do anything. This is just a glitch in the computer software program, the brain. So what else? Yeah, that's about it. I mean, if you have OCD, I want to hear your story. That'd be great. Or tell me what you think. Excuse me 1 second. Got the honey green tea going. And here's the really weird thing about me. My germophobia is, I could kiss 50 girls in I can kiss 50 women in an hour, 50 different women in an hour. I'm okay. No problem there. But goddamn, if I got to open the door to Starbucks, like I'm fucking losing my mind. So OCD is a weird thing like that. It doesn't, yeah, I volunteered at hospitals, volunteering for fun. Now, shit, the hospital is a place of fucking germs. No problem, but something about touching germ, I don't know. It's a weird thing, you know what I mean? So, and then again, the religiosity, oh my God, is God going to punish me? Like that was a big thing for years too. And how do you ERP that? Well, if I'm worried that God's going to punish me, the ERP to that would be, let's just say like, I'm worried that I had a thought that I said, like, I don't care about God. Oh my God, I can't believe I thought that. I can't believe I thought that. Oh my God. Then the ERP to that is, you will say, yep, I don't care about God. And that's right. And you're going to do that. So you're going to take control, power, and you're going to push the fight. You're not going to wait for the bully to come. You can go right up to the bully and smack it in its mouth and be like, hey, what's up? I don't care about God, And so now you don't feel that way, but you're not going to reassure yourself, and you're not going to say, I'm a good person. No. You're not going to say anything. You're going to sit with that uncomfortability. You're going to sit with that, or you're going to say, that's right, I'm the worst person in the world. Love it. That's what I do. Or you're going to say, like, maybe I'm the worst person. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. You're not going to feed into the OCD. You know what I'm saying? So you may say, oh, did I say, maybe I said something at that party to offend my friend? Meanwhile, your friend's not offended. They're not. But you're going to be like, yep, I said something. Or maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But cool. And you're just going to chill out and be in that uncomfortability. Like you're going to put the germs on your face, so to speak. You're going to sit there with it, And so that's the exposure response prevention, is to be uncomfortable, to stress out, and to sit there and just be in the stress. And if you do a compulsion and you go wash your hands, or you call that friend, hey, did I say anything to offend you? Knowing like you didn't. That's the other thing. Like with OCD, it's OCD. You know this is just totally unreasonable and silly, but at the same time, you're like, "Oh, I gotta wash my hands. I gotta wash my. So it literally is like two fucking brains, in the one skull. So it's not that you don't know. You do know. You're like, this is crazy. I know I didn't say anything to my friend, but you're like, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I know I didn't. So this side saying that, and the other side, it's like, the little devil and the little angel. That's how the best I can describe it. So, and if you do say, damn, I'm gonna wash my hands, don't beat yourself up. Fine. Be like, you know what? Tomorrow or in 2 hours, and come back at it. And then I'm not going to wash my hands for as long as I can, and you're going to move on with your day. And the key is to move on with your day and, share with your friends that maybe you have that issue, or definitely get a counselor. And there's, it's life, man. Like, we all have mind health issues. If you don't have a mind health issue, then you don't have a brain. So I highly recommend, specialty therapy, ERP, OCD therapists. Go to no OCD. They should be paying for this, but they're not. But the ERP is what you want. And I would say initially you should have some guidance from somebody before you get to my advanced level where you just fucking do it yourself. But and YouTube's got a lot of great content on there. There's a guy that I follow that I would highly recommend you follow. Not all OCD therapy on YouTube is great, but there are a number of great people, and I follow this guy. His name is it's the hold on.
Before using no CDR.
There's the OCD commercial. Oh, well, hold on one second. Oh, here it is. This guy is called. Oh, where is he? Okay, it's his channel is at OCD and anxiety. So at OCD and anxiety. That's him. So I'll put this up here in my high tech, my high tech, my high tech show here. I love this guy. I think he's great, and I think everybody should go use this guy. And so that's him. Okay. All right. That's that guy. Okay. So go there. OCD and anxiety on YouTube. He's the best, and he's essentially just gonna say, like, you got to expose yourself to it. You have to live with it. And don't beat yourself up. You're gonna have it forever. You're never gonna beat it, so to speak. Or you might, but most people don't. And also you have to get proper sleep. You have to get proper nutrition. Exercise is great. Exercise will counter the cortisol levels raising, and exercise will also help release happy hormones, the endorphins. So proper exercise, you don't have to sweat your ass off. You can just go for a walk, get outside. Proper nutrition. So you stay away from the junk food and the fried food and the alcohol and shit like that. Fruits and vegetables and salmon, omega-3s. Grilled chicken, baked chicken, stuff like that. Hydration. Believe it or not, again, I'm not a doctor. Talk to your healthcare professional, but non-steroidal over the counter like Advils, Tylenols can help. I'm not saying take that like candy because that's a drug too. But when you're feeling really fucking stressed out, you're inflamed, that can help. But I would say, again, proper nutrition, proper hydration, proper sleep, proper therapy, getting out, exercising, talking to friends about anything else but, you know what I mean? Even if you don't feel like it, get the fuck up and do it. And then, that's that. Because sitting home and zoning out, that's not good. If you do it once a month, that's one thing. But you have a life to live. You deserve the best. You're going to get the best. You can do it. You got to stand up on your own. You're going to fall, get back up, fall, get back up, fall, get back up. ERP therapy. Anyways, I hope that helps. That's been my journey. Things are much better for me today. And I'm glad I started, when I was 35. I'm 51 now. But now I know what's up. I know, hey, this is, I got this. There's no problem. And so my life is more enjoyable. I'm not going to say that I don't have, moments where the OCD, quote unquote, rears its ugly head again. I'm like, I touched the doorknob. Happens, definitely happens. But now I have the tools. Now I know what's up. So yeah, and if I think, the religiosity thing with me is 99% gone. Like, once in a blue moon, I'd be like, something like, oh, again, does God hate me? Because, I left church a little early because I go to church, and I'm just like, yeah, I left early. Cool. And I'm just like, yeah, maybe God hates me, maybe he doesn't. Like, you can't try to Reason. Never try to reason with OCD. Never try to be like, well, I'm a good person. God doesn't really hate me. I know that. That's silly. Don't. You can't reason with it. It's a bully. You don't reason with bullies. You smack bullies in their mouth. So that's what you're gonna do with this. You're gonna physiologically, psychologically smack it in its mouth, right? So when you think like, oh my God, am I gonna get punched because I left early? I don't know, whatever, dude. Like cool. Like yeah, going right to hell. Can't wait, party. Like that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna be like, yeah, so like the bully saying like, hey, you say something to me? Fuck right, I did. What's up, dude? Let's on right now. Let's do it. That's what you're gonna do. That's the ethos. What I'm trying to say, to yourself. Obviously, I'm not advocating violence or anything like that, but that's the type of thing that's going on in an OCD person's mind, kind of, So, and you're a good person, you deserve the best, and we all have our things, right? This is mine, and if you have OCD, you understand what I'm talking about, and it can be very debilitating, And again, get yourself a therapist, learn, and when you're feeling great, that's great, but always keep up with the ERP therapy. So I always make sure that, after I grab the door handle at the Starbucks or wherever, or shake someone's hand, I always make sure like whatever, like rub my ear or go like this to my nose. I'm not saying put my finger in my nose, but you know what I mean? I always make sure just to keep up. It's like a muscle. You got to keep working out, and then I'm good, But if I don't rub my face or something like that, then I say, oh my God, is there germs? I don't look at my hand, So it's things like that, and yeah, maybe there's germs on my hand. Cool, and there are germs everywhere, obviously. But so yeah, you have to keep up with your exercise, your ERP exercises, even when you're feeling great. So I'll be like, yeah, maybe God hates me today. Cool, like that. You know what I mean? And then yeah, it's not an issue anymore even though I'm not at church, you have to keep that going. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can message me or whatever. But the best awaits you. You have an awesome life ahead of you. You can do it. I believe in you. I can do it. Believe me, I'm nobody special. So, anyways, hope that helps. Thanks for checking in, everybody. I'm out of here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.